What's up, guys? Heatfireash here. First, I just want to say thanks for just all the support you guys have been showing to the channel so far since I started doing Pokemon just a couple weeks ago. Honestly, just all the subscribers have just been increasing greatly, and at the time that I uploaded this video, I'm at 399, so just one away from 400 subscribers, which is just awesome. So thank you guys so much for the support. My goal is to try to get the 500 subscribers before the end of the year. It's going to be a little tough, but I think we might be able to do it. So just thanks for the support, guys. I really do appreciate it. And now onto the video. I am still using my Trick Room team, so this is going to be another battle. And specifically, some people have been asking me how you can beat Duraludon with Trick Room team, because Duraludon does eat through Hatterene pretty well. So this is a game where my opponent did have Duraludon and did open it with Dracovish. So hopefully this can give you sort of an idea of how you can play around that lead from an opponent. All right, here's the video. Okay, so we did find a battle here. So this is the same Trick Room team I had in my last video with rhyperior and torkoal for damage. So let's go ahead and check out what my opponent has. See what we're going to be fighting against. So it does look like Wolfie's team with Duraludon. So I'm not too scared of Duraludon because I do have the Babbery Berry on Hatterene. So I can live any attack from Duraludon, even a Dynamax attack. The only way I die from Duraludon is if it's max special attack, modest, choice spec, steel beam. That's the only way I die. And like, I haven't seen anybody really run that. So feel pretty confident we can get Trick Room off. And then against everything else, I like Rhyperior here. It's definitely going to do well against Duraludon and Lucario. And then I like Torkoal here, but I am scared about Dracovish because Torkoal's not good against Dracovish at all. So I usually tend to go with Rotom if there is a Dracovish on my opponent's team. And also Rotom does well against Bravery too, so it's definitely not a bad call to go with the Rotom here. So, all right, into the battle. And as you'll see here, my opponent ends up leading Duraludon and Dracovish. I definitely expected Duraludon. That's a very common start. And also Dracovish here. I used to run Ally Switch on my indeedee just for situations like this with Duraludon. But what I found out is, especially against this lead, it doesn't work because then Vicious Wren just kills you. So unless they double target the Hatterene first, but they don't always do that. Sometimes they target each. So Ally Switch isn't really as good as the Babbery Berry in my opinion. So go ahead and go for the Trick Room. Follow me. Standard setup. Like I said, with that Babbery Berry, I'm going to live basically all attacks from Duraludon, even a Dynamax Max Steel Strike. So, which I assume that's what they're going for. And as you see here, they do go for the Dynamax on Duraludon. So I predicted right in this case. I assume that the meta might change eventually if they try to counter the Babbery Berry. But so far, most Duraludon teams, especially this team of Wolfies right here, this is kind of the play they usually go for. So get the follow me off, so I'll be eating that Vicious Wren into indeedee. And here comes the Max Steel Strike. And actually, it is interesting here that Duraludon is faster than Dracovish. So it must be a max speed Duraludon because I think Dracovish is 75 speed and Duraludon's 80. So this is not a defensive Duraludon at all. So as you can see, we live that Max Steel Strike pretty easily, and then indeedee even lives the Vicious Wren. So getting Trick Room off, no problem here, and now we're kind of in the driver's seat. The only thing we do have to be careful of is I like Dynamaxing Hatterene usually, but it is so low that Dynamaxing it is not going to work here at all. Definitely can't go for a Dynamax. So my thoughts immediately go to I'm going to be Dynamaxing Rhyperior this game. So I need to get rid of the biggest threat to Rhyperior, which is Dracovish. So I know Dazzling Gleam is going to do a lot of damage, but I figure because it's spread, it probably won't kill it. So what I end up choosing here is Dazzling Gleam plus Helping Hand on indeedee. And this is definitely going to take out the Dracovish, which is the biggest threat to me. And then it's going to do some good chip on Duraludon. So that's what I end up going for here. Not exactly sure how much, but I am very confident that it will take out the Dracovish. And there we go. Not too scared of a protect on Dracovish either. That could have been bad, but usually they're running like either choice band or choice scarf. I'm assuming it was choice band. Just a guess because it wasn't life orb or anything. So there you can see we get the knockout on Dracovish and do over half damage to Duraludon, which is more than I expected. But honestly, looking back on it, we now know that that is a completely offensive Duraludon. So I probably should have picked on that during the game, but either way, it worked out. And we go ahead for the Rhyperior here, obviously, as I'm going to be Dynamaxing that, and now I can just focus on taking out Duraludon. And even if they have Bravery in the back, this does well against that, does well against Lucario, and as you can see, my opponent does have Lucario here. So I do decide to Dynamax Rhyperior, as I talked about, and then I go for the Max Quake onto Duraludon. I just want to get the knockout here, and I think that's a little more scary than Lucario is, especially seeing how much damage it can put out from the Steel Strike. And the only thing I was a little worried about if Duraludon went for a Max Guard here, then Lucario could possibly knock me out from getting 2 attacks off. So I end up going for Follow Me with indeedee, just to get one more turn of protection on the Rhyperior here. I feel like that was a really safe play. So Dynamax coming out here, no problem. And then, as you'll see here, my opponent did not go for Max Guard. So just get the Max Quake off. Of course, a lot of times Duraludon does not carry Protect anyway, so it's not really too surprising that it doesn't have it. So get that Max Quake off. That does knock out the Duraludon. And then obviously my indeedee is just going to tank up whatever hit the Lucario has. I could have taken the hit from Lucario and procced my weakness policy. It could have been good depending on what my opponent had in the back. But I was definitely worried about having to take multiple hits. So depending on what was in the back, I could have gotten hit by the Lucario pretty low, even with Dynamax. I mean, I am very physically defensive, but I was a little worried about depending on what my opponent could have in the back. So that's why I wanted to use the Follow Me. Also, indeedee, you know, I wanted to get another Pokemon out there. Indeedee's pretty much served its purpose at this point. And then we see a Whimsicott, which is pretty interesting. I didn't really think that's what my opponent would bring in the back, but maybe they wanted to go for a beat-up Shenanigans or something. I don't know. They might not have been expecting me to get up Trick Room. So I just go for the Max Quake into Lucario. I figure it'll knock it out. If it protects, then probably won't knock it out, but that's okay. And then we go for Lightning Bolt into Whimsicott just to break that Focus Sash. That's the idea, and it does have the super effective Ground Berry, the Lucario. So, but as you can see here, we tanked that, or it's not enough to even protect it. So, obviously, that's not enough to help through a Max Quake. And obviously, Lucario is not really the most defensive Pokemon anyway, so that's not too surprising. You get the Thunderbolt off here, and that deals a little bit of chip to Whimsicott. Obviously not very effective, but we just want to break the Focus Sash. And it goes for an Energy Ball, which I am 4 times weak to, but we have the plus special defense boost already. And then obviously I'm Dynamax, so it's not really going to hit me very hard. And then it does proc weakness policy. Obviously I don't really need it at this point. The game's basically over. But just go for the Max Rockfall and another Thunderbolt into it, and that's going to clean up the game. So hopefully that gives you guys a good idea of just what you can do against a Duraludon lead. If that's what they're leading with, you know, Duraludon Dracovish or Duraludon, something like that. It's really no problem with the Babbery Berry. It's pretty easy to navigate around that. So hopefully that gives you guys an idea of what you can do with this team against that lead. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate the support. Please go ahead, leave me a like. Go ahead and comment down if you have any questions or anything. And subscribe if you want to stay up to date with all my latest videos and everything. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.